So, you wanna try starting a business? Well, I already have, and it's been crazy.
15-year-old expat.
So I started business when I was 13 years old, and in the past 3 years I've been blessed to be able to drop out from my GCSEs, move countries, and now live the island life that every kid dreams of. And today I want to talk about the 5 most important laws and principles that took me way too long to learn, and if you apply them to your life, then you can get to my position and way beyond in a fraction of the time. So let's do it. Law 1. Obsession over balance. At this age, obsession is your greatest advantage because you don't have kids, you don't have bills, and you don't have 20 years of bad habits. You just have raw time and energy. And if you don't put every ounce of that energy into building something great, then you'll spend the rest of your life catching up to the people who did. Use the time while you still have barely any responsibilities, and just go for it. You have nothing to lose. Whether your parents agree or disagree, this is your time to go get it. There will never be an easier moment than now, so lock in. Law number 2. Action over perfection. I didn't have a clue of what I was doing when I first started. My first offer sucked and my first outreach sucked. But the key part of this story is that nevertheless, I took action. While most people just sat around planning their business idea for months, I had already built and restructured my offer and my website 3 times, learning at such a pace that my life had changed in just under a year. And that is when I learned that planning is literally just procrastination, and that nothing will teach you as well as experience does. So what I want you to take away from this law is that messy action for 6 months will always put you miles ahead anyone who just thinks and plans for 2 years, maybe even 5 years straight. You will be ahead every time. Law 3. Isolation creates power. Your environment will either kill you or save you. And the moment I stopped donating time to school friends who didn't give a shit about growth and started investing that into reading books, learning, and taking action on my business, that is when everything changed. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to lock yourself in a basement and be a loner, just working after numbers, working after all that money, because what's the point if you're not going to be able to use it? What I'm telling you is that right now, most likely if you're in school or at work, the people around you aren't the ones who are going to push you forwards anyway. So just speed up the process by cutting them off, being alone for a few months, and building yourself to then be equipped and to be in a situation where you will find people who are on the same journey as you. Number 4. The law of detachment. I used to refresh my email 50 times a day waiting for a client to reply, and guess what? Nothing happened. But the moment I detached, I didn't care anymore, and I just started doing the inputs, putting in the work, and not caring whether that one individual would message me back. The results became incredible and the clients came naturally. Why? Because firstly, people can smell desperation and it instantly repels them. And secondly, because I put that time when I was waiting and stressing over a reply into sending 50 more messages that could give me 50 more replies. I made it impossible not to get the output by doing so much inputs. Now I'm not telling you just don't care, be sloppy, be unprofessional because it doesn't matter. No, what I'm telling you is don't cling on to results. Don't cling on to this one guy just because you think he might be a good client. Do your work well, send quality messages and show them that you want them, but don't obsess over them and don't be needy. That is the law of detachment. And law number 5, the most important one by far. Identity first, millions second. And what I mean by this is that you will never get rich if you look in the mirror and you see an average, weak, broke loser. All you will do is get unmotivated and go back to your old cycle of scrolling and trying to escape reality. So what should you do? Because maybe you are a broke, weak loser, but that's not what your mind should believe. You see, the thing about every single millionaire out there is that all knew that they deserved it, and they all thought of themselves as one before the money and the status ever showed up. And that is what you have to do. Now, building this mindset isn't just about falsely believing something that clearly isn't true. It's about inputs. It's about asking yourself, what would that guy do? If you imagine yourself as a multi-millionaire in 2 years' time, then ask, what would that multi-millionaire do today? How much would he work? Would he be scrolling on his phone? Would he be wasting time with these people? And then you simply follow the actions that he'd be doing. You'd cut out the bullshit, you'd do the right work, and every single day that would build the identity to become stronger. And after that, you're never going to think of yourself as in such a demoralizing way as before. You will actually think of yourself someone worthy of respect, someone confident, and someone who is a future millionaire. You're not just a loser anymore, you're someone with a promising future, and your mind knows it. You programmed your mind to know it. And that actually reminds me of something that the Tate brothers talked about, and they got a lot of flashback when they called people brokies, but then they explained, broke isn't a state of the pocket, it's a state of the mind. You could be super poor, but you're actually a winner. You're a future millionaire because you programmed yourself to be that. Being broke is seeing yourself as broke in the mirror, seeing yourself as valueless, and doing valueless things. Scrolling, not working on your business, not working out. So basically, the thing I want you to do is write down who you want to be in just 1 year's time, and write down what that person would be doing every day. And then do it. If you want to be fucking Bruce Wayne, then do what Bruce Wayne does every day. Make yourself believe that you are Bruce Wayne, simply by how you live out your days, no matter whether you're rich right now or whether you're poor right now. And eventually, the outputs will match your inputs. And there it is. These are the 5 laws I live by. The laws that took me from being an average schoolboy in England to now being an expat in Cyprus building my future. But now the question is, are you gonna follow them too? Or will this video just end up in the endless library of motivational junk that you've already consumed? That's eventually what's gonna be the big decider.